and I have no fucking camera. Well, I have my cell phone, which I guess I could use if I wanted to, but I have no camera, and I'm like, God damn, girl, I want to freaking shoot this, but I can't because I don't have any camera. Or like I'll be driving around at night, like I'll be driving out to get something to eat, and I have no camera, and I pass by a car show. I'm like, what? So anyway.
Hey, I have something to point out to you. Well, yes, it's not your preferred. Well, technically it's not your preferred format. You always have a camera with you, dude.
What, my cell phone?
Phone. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what people are saying. They're saying that they're getting to the.
I mean, there's some cell phones that got like 50 megapixels.
Well, the new iPhone, it's got that triple lens on it. Yeah.
I mean, they've gotten to the point they make clip-on lenses for your phone.
I have seen that. I've seen that fisheyes and telephotos. Yeah. I find now that when I'm looking for a new phone, that I'm looking at camera. You know, not the reverse camera because I don't give a shit about that, but the front-facing camera, so I can figure out what I'm going to be getting. Like I've had cameras that are just freaking razor sharp, and other cameras that are like pretty soft. So it depends on what you get. You're kind of limited, of course, because of the lens, but I think that's the reason why they've been putting the multiple lenses on the cameras now, so they can switch around and get a different focal length. There was one camera, I think it's coming out. It's got 4 lenses on it. Well, iPhone did that with a 3 lens. And now I just heard about a company that I don't recognize, but they have a 4 lens. It's gonna be nuts. Yeah, pretty soon they'll start building a camera with a phone around it instead of the other way around.
Another thing I saw, and I'm not going to join the community because I'm just not a photo community kind of guy.
Yeah, probably a good choice.
Well, I look at how it's like all these recording communities. They're everyone's right. No one's ever wrong.
Except for you, you're always wrong.
Yeah.
You're always wrong. No matter what you say, somebody's right and you're wrong. So well, whatever.
So I have no interest in joining their communities, but Canon just created their own community, and they give you it's called Raise, RAISE. But they do have they make suggestions of go out and shoot this week. And I go,
oh yeah,
what?
Okay,
I can still do that.
Yeah,
you know, I don't have to be a part of the community to follow the suggestions as to what to shoot that week.
Yeah,
I just thought.
Yeah,
because some days I just sit here and go, yeah, well, what am I going to shoot?
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Sorry, I was just thinking of something. Following along that same lines, the tech guy that I was talking about, he does the same thing. He has a Flickr group, and once a month, like I was saying, they get together to do film. And what they do is, or not film, but shoot. And what they do is they give an assignment. It's usually a 1-word assignment. And the reason why is to get you to think and to try to get you to think outside of the box. So some of the podcasts, yeah. So it works really good. Like they'll say one word, like a color or a shape or anything, just one word. And the idea is that they don't give you so much information that you are pigeonholed into shooting a particular thing, and they want to see how you interpret it. And then part of the entertainment is just that when they'll say up. And that's usually it's usually a word like that, and then you see the different interpretations of that particular word. It's pretty interesting to watch how people interpret it differently. The other thing is that there was this thing. Now this is only a film thing, although you could theoretically there's variations And there are variations. Like there was this one where you shoot 50 pictures in 50 days using a 50 millimeter lens. And somebody else thought to themselves, okay, that's a lot of pictures. But if I do the same thing with 35 shots, 35 days, 35 millimeter lens, then that will force me into doing a specific thing. Yeah, but the film thing is called 52 rolls. And what you do is you shoot one roll of film a week for 52 weeks. And the idea is not that you're shooting these great masterpieces, because you're not. But what it is to create the habit that you shoot, and that you shoot on a regular basis. Because how many times have you're shooting and everything's great, and then the next time you go out to shoot, you realize it's been a month since you went shooting last. You got to go looking. Yeah, you got to go looking for your camera. So. But the funny thing was 52 Rolls had a website. It had a forum, and they're dead now. That's dead. That doesn't exist. But the last entry was this guy who was ranting and raving. He was all pissed off because he was shooting 52 rolls, and I think he shot like 40 rolls. And he's like, "Yeah, fuck this shit." He goes, "I got a life to live. I can't be doing this shit." He's all mad. He couldn't hack it. I guess he couldn't get it going. It's tough. That kind of job stuff. So anyway, that's one of the other reasons too why I got this camera, because I was thinking of doing the 52 rolls, and to try to force myself, because we've been dealing. It's well known that I'm having trouble actually shooting, but I've been doing pretty good lately, so I'm doing all right. But I was trying to see if I could maybe the 52 rolls might be an idea. I would obviously get some 24 exposures, because that could get a little tedious. I can actually get 12 rolls, 12 shot rolls. They're not common, but I can actually get them from a place called not Freestyle, Film Warehouse. They package their own called Extreme, and they do it in 4 or 12 exposure rolls, which I think would be kind of cool. Yeah. So making it a habit is the hard part, So. Yeah.
Well, the problem is, like with any hobby, it's like, how much time can I actually dedicate to this?
Well, that's another thing. I try not to call it a hobby. I try to think of it as a lifestyle, because if you don't, it becomes everything gets prioritized. And if you don't prioritize it, it starts falling off. Like I was in the gym like all the time, and 3 days a week, working pretty good, and I'm feeling pretty good, and I was getting in good shape. And then I got sick, and I didn't go. I had the flu, and I didn't freaking go. And then I didn't go, and then I didn't go, and then it was like, oh, I got something else to do. If you don't prioritize, things start falling off, and then all of a sudden you're out of the gym, and or you're not shooting, or you're not playing guitar, or you're not writing music, or and then it's like harmonica. I laid off harmonica for a while because I was shooting, but getting back into harp is a little tough because it's now no longer the habit. So
on top of which, it's not like playing a guitar where, yes, there's muscle memory that gets lost, and you gotta retrain, but your instrument, not so much as a voice, has physical limitations, and the ability to push breath is a huge as you get older, changes.
Oh, it does when you start watching harmonica players as they go through the years, their style changes. It's the same as well, I mean, I've seen like who's that dude? I should know his name, but I have a hard time remembering names these days. But the guy from the Rolling Stones, the guitarist from the Rolling Stones, the one who's drunk all the time. What's his name?
The heroin addict.
I remember it is
Keith Richards.
Keith Richards. Yeah, that's right. Keith Richards. I was watching a show. It was a documentary about Keith Richards, and I noticed his hands were severely arthritic. And the tip, the first knuckle from the tip. I'm not sure how you count knuckles on a finger, but the knuckle closest to the tip, the tips of his fingers were bent at 90 degrees permanently. And I know that's from playing guitar. All
Wow.
instruments have a all instruments take a toll on you, all of them. Drummers. I was watching shit. I can't remember his name. I was watching a conga player that I know, and his hands are constantly taped because of the impact on his hands. Same thing with guitarists; they end up getting joint issues, and harmonica players, you know, things change, styles change. You know, your style changes as your physical limitations start to emerge. So.
Yeah, actually, just before you contacted me this morning, I was watching some live footage of Tom Kiefer's band.
Oh yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't pay to see him anymore, just simply because. Well, I saw him when his voice was. You know, he's the only one who didn't know singing like that was going to take its toll on his voice.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he set himself up for failure with that, because once those songs became part of who he is, you're not going to get away with singing a different way and going out there and try to sell those songs to us.
Yeah.
Because like he does Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone Now, as it starts, it goes until the guitar solo, it's all acoustic, and it's him and his wife singing together.
Yeah.
And I'm much stripped down. I'm going, yeah, but I remember going to see you live and watching you sit at a piano and just belt those notes out the way you did, on the album. I'm going,
yeah.
It's not the same to me. But the one thing I will say is, say what you want about him and his band, that motherfucker can play the blues. I watched him play guitar, and I went, wow.
Yeah, one of the things about well, two things. I'm going to say two things. One is about a voice, and one is about Lee Oskar and the blues. So, if I ask you what I was talking about, now you'll know. The thing about voices that I've heard a lot of great vocals say that if you don't sound when you sing, if you don't sound the same way as when you talk, then you're doing it wrong. Because that the voice is not meant to be done like that. So now I know a lot of times people will lose an accent when they're singing, but generally they should be fairly identifiable. If they're tweaking their voice to such an extent that you can't recognize who they are, then that's probably they're setting themselves up for injury. And so, what's his name? Brian Johnson. Tom Kiefer, and
Stanley.
Who else? Paul Stanley. He seriously constricted that voice. That's what gave him that falsetto sound. But he paid for that. You pay for it. Yeah. Musicians pay for what they do.
Yeah.
So even if you're perfectly trained, you still pay for that. It's like ballet dancers. You hear about these ballet dancers. I mean, they're trained for years and years at the top schools. And they work, and then years later they can't walk because of this of all this dancing that they've done and this extreme physicality. Yeah, okay. Same thing with contortionists. I watched the contortionist one time, and she said, "I'll be a contortionist as long as my body can take it." And I'm like, "Geez, okay. I didn't know it was that extreme, but all right." The other thing is Lee Oskar. I was watching Lee Oskar. I know Lee Oskar from War. That's world beat, jazz, rock, that kind of stuff. But I've heard him play blues, and he plays blues. But boy, I tell you what, it's not like blues like you and I play. Fuck, dude, that guy's the shit, dude. I mean, I'm used to his ethnic sound that he has.
Yeah.
But man, when he's freaking doing the 12 bar, holy crap. That guy's a master. I don't care what people say about Lee Oskar. He's crazy as a loon, but holy shit. That guy can play like a motherfucker.